everything here.
Okay.
The first thing we have to do is figure out what the Muhurta is for. This person wants to sue somebody.
Ugh.
So we're going to go down here to litigation.
No, wait. What did you just click to get into this box?
That's right.
Okay. See where it says general guidelines?
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
This has all the things: marriage, business,
Cool.
war,
Excellent.
building a house.
Okay.
And I'm going to litigation.
Fabulous.
Now, if you get to litigation, it sets this for litigation now.
Oh,
What?
yours? I never did that with yours. Wow.
Read the owner's manual, you know? Astrologers, it's under the help. It's under the help.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Do that again.
so now well, you just click on here and choose it.
Okay.
Okay? And there's 175 different things to choose from.
If item is not there, what happens?
Then you have to do it yourself. Okay, then
Go to your book and refer.
Then, once you set it, the first thing you should do before you start the Muhurta is read any special things that you need to know. You can get those in the second half of the book where you just look it up and it's there. That very same stuff is under Moherta Guidelines. So if I click on Moherta Guidelines, it says litigation. The guidelines set forth for travel, setting out to overcoming enemies are those that are to be followed for determining a time to engage in litigation. Alright, so I'm going to go back to here. This is the only one you have to do it on. And you go travel, setting out to overcome enemies. So you actually use the same things as that.
Cool.
Now then, I've got Moherta Guidelines. Now I got a lot to read. So this is all the special stuff for travel, setting out to overcome your enemies. Okay? And like these yogas, the combinations given for travel, commencing a journey are very favorable for setting out to overcome enemies. Those are programmed. So if I click under special considerations, if there's tithis are community tithis. And if you engage in war under those tithis, the home team wins. The invaded wins. So you're going there and invading, they win. Then there's the ones that are non-community. And those are the ones that when you go there, better chance you win.
Wow.
So the community ones are in the red because you don't want to attack them in the community one.
Yeah.
You want to attack them in the non-community, which is the green. The yellow ones are not community, they're mixed. Like Wednesday is a mixed day. And what it does, it results in both people being happy. You know, so this is good for litigation where it's like over children. And so you want to settle, everyone's happy, you don't want to kill the person, okay? You know, and so that's more kind of give a compromise of settlement. Those are marked in the yellow. So this person, we looked in September and I gave her one date which wasn't great, and I told her she'd never win with that date, but it was the best month. So she decided she wanted to wait till October to sue.
What kind of litigation is this?
I think she had a storage place at a storage unit, and it got robbed, and
So she really
their
wants to
insurance
win.
isn't covering it. Yeah.
Oh my god. She wants the green one.
Okay.
That's terrible.
They rarely will win.
Wow.
Okay.
So we are in October now.
So now we went to October. So here I can
So
go.
what happened to September, you said?
There was nothing really good. Venus was debilitated and causing too many problems. And you know, when you engage in war litigation, one of the rules is that you don't want Venus to be debilitated.
Does it show here?
See, it's in Virgo.
Where is it?
Virgo. Okay. Oh wait a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's just do something here for you guys that aren't used to those. Let's use the letters. Now it's better, right? So Venus is in Virgo,
Right.
right? So with Venus being in Virgo, October wasn't going to be a good month. Plus
Venus
there
is
was I'm sorry, September. Yeah, it was debilitated. So now I go to September, October, and ignore this top of the screen right now. First we just have to find the Panchanga, right? Find the good day. So in October, ideally we want to have the good Nakshatra in green, the good Tara in green, the good Tithi in green. So at first we can just real quickly look and see if there's any days where everything's green. And you only see one, right? On the 27th. Okay? So if I click anywhere under the 27th, it's going to take me to midnight on the 27th and calculate it for here. You got that? And I can see on that day, the 20th.
I see two of them. So you click on the
Well, there's the 31st in the evening there is
So you
too.
clicked on 27.
Yeah. And then it calculated this for the 27th.
Where did you click first?
What happened to my mouse? I just clicked on anywhere in this line,
Okay.
anywhere here.
Okay.
You can click anywhere, it doesn't matter where. And then it'll take you to October 27th at midnight.
Okay.
Okay? We're trying to find a court case for someone.
27th midnight at 12 a.m.
October 26th,
12 a.m.
midnight,
Okay.
Western time, because otherwise it's too confusing. We'll end up, if we do it in Yamakote time, chances are we're going to tell them the wrong clock time and get it all confused. So this is on,
Our clock.
yeah. So when you see Wednesday here, this is Wednesday on our calendar, midnight to midnight. If you want to see the true Vara, look at here.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the true Vara Monday. Okay? So, actually that should be changed. It should be Moon's Vara. It shouldn't say Monday, 'cause that gets confusing. So, so that's a possibility on the 27th. We have green in the Vara Tithi Nakshatra Yoga, right?
Yeah.
So that means the combination is going to be good.
But midnight is not a time for litigation.
No, but that's just where it starts. Now we
Right.
just started the beginning of that day. Now we'll adjust the top up here. Okay? Now,
Yeah, another one too. Your tithi might change if you go to 8 a.m.
Well, we'll find out.
no, but it doesn't matter because see down here, the whole day there's a good yoga.
Ah, okay.
See on this,
It goes from 12 a.m.
like on this day on the 19th, it's a good yoga, a little bit of bad yoga in the middle of the day, and then it gets good again. See that little red streak?
Yeah.
Okay, but this day it's good for a day. The yoga is good for a day and a half.
Right.
The Tara is good the whole day. The Nakshatra is good. So Monday, anytime during Monday, the Panchanga, something's wrong with this mouse as it keeps doing that, is going to be good. So now I just have to look for the best times on Monday. Well, obviously we can't do it during, at that time. So I'm just going to go to the horror here and click it until we get to a reasonable time. First of all, I should have done this. Select place and time. This person's in Seattle, so we want to type in Seattle here. And I think is that 2 T's or?
2 T's, yeah.
Okay, so we'll put Seattle. And in Seattle, we've got things adjusted now. So Monday the 27th looks good. Let's get it to around 9 o'clock and see what we got. Well, at 9 o'clock, we've got Scorpio Lagna. So if you look at just the basic planetary positions, because we know that Panchanga is good, right?
Right.
And we know the Varatithi Nakshatra Yoga is good. So it's promising. We just have to look and see how the general planets are to get an idea if the Tithi Lords or etc. will be good, right?
They're all in the house of 12th house.
Well, they're all not in a good house, but just based on dignity and planetary aspects.
Sun is
Debilitated, right? Venus is, but it's with a Venus in own sign.
Yeah.
And Mercury, and they're all Rashi aspected by Jupiter and exalted Mars, right?
Wow.
So all these planets are quite happy.
Yep.
Then Rahu's quite happy.
Except for, are they combusto?
Mercury's combust. Not ideal, but I wouldn't worry it too much.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we want Mars to
But you
be
don't want
very
Venus
strong
or
too.
Jupiter.
It's good if Mars is more. For the Karaka for law is Mercury.
Mercury.
Okay.
But Mars for litigation.
But Mars is litigation. So both of those are important for a thing like this. But again, the Karaka is secondary importance.
Jupiter also brings
It's Jupiter's spiritual law, not man-made law. Mercury's man-made law. So, the first thing we want to do now, we know the Panchanga is good, the Vara Tithi Nakshatra is good, the Yoga is good, the combination of Vara Tithi Nakshatra Yoga is good. So we have to see if the Panchanga Lords will be good enough, right? Now, just roughly speaking, on this day, the Nakshatra is Anurag, which is
is soft.
okay, which is okay. It's a fine nakshatra for litigation, though.
Is it?
Okay. Then the Mercury is the nakshatra lord, right?
Yes.
No, Saturn's the nakshatra lord.
Saturn.
Okay. So Saturn's
In the 12th.
don't worry about the house. We're just looking at planetary
Oh,
position.
it's not in the 12th. I can see what.
It's just in Gemini, right? Okay. Then and it's unaspected, right?
Right.
Right, it's fine.
Then in Navamsha, it's aspected by Ketu and Rahu, but Rashi aspected by Jupiter and Venus. So all in all,
Not
at first glance, it doesn't look that bad, right?
that bad.
But when we consider that Saturn's in a great enemy's Navamsha, so Saturn's not going to be good. Jupiter is in a great enemy's Navamsha too, right?
Yeah.
A great enemy's Navamsha. So Jupiter's aspect is dead. Saturn's is dead. Then Rahu and Ketu and Venus is there. So the Nakshatra Lord is not good at all. Or the Nakshatra Lord is not very good. Right? So we can't say this is a Nakshatra that could create a lot of growth when it comes to beating up your enemies or winning this litigation. So now, so we know that even though everything looks good on this day, the Nakshatra is not looking very good. The moon itself, well, Rashi aspected by Rahu, right?
Yeah.
In the Navamsha, it's unaspected. But if we adjust the time a little bit, let's see, let's add a little time. Let's get the moon in Scorpio Navamsha. Now we got the moon in Vargatama, which overcomes all blemishes, right?
Wow.
We've got the moon aspected by exalted Mars now. So it's better, but it's not great. Because we still have, let's see, we've got this Mercury aspecting it, which is going to be okay though. But Mercury, because it's combust, is not going to be very helpful. Combust is like debilitation, doesn't have a lot of positive rays.
And it's the car.
And it's the Karaka. So the Nakshatra and the moon are not great. So for any chance of winning on this day, the other Panchanga lords are going to have to be really solid. Okay, so the Tithi, the Vara is Tuesday, ruled by Mars. No problem with the Vara, right?
Yeah.
Mars is great. It's exalted, aspected by Venus. Rahu and Ketu are aspecting it, but with exalted in the Navamsha, that's going to make up for any afflictions in the Rashi. So the Vara is great. Then the Tithi is the third Tithi, which is a Jaya Tithi, a victory Tithi, right? Ruled by Mars, and we've seen Mars is exalted, right? In the Navamsha. So the Tithi is excellent. The Karana is Gara, ruled by Jupiter. Well, how is Jupiter? Well, he's in a great enemy's Navamsha. The Karana is not good, right? So if they file on this day, everything leading up to the day of court case and the court case themselves, they're going to do a lot of stupid things, right? And otherwise, Jupiter, well, it's aspected by Rahu and Ketu, combust Mercury and debilitated Sun. So the Karna Lord's heavily afflicted. And since the Karna Lord is what helps you do the best possible actions, if she files on this day, she's going to do a lot of actions that are not going to be great. She's going to do a lot of stupid things, okay? And even it might seem like the best thing, but when it all pans out, when you look back at it, oh gosh, that was totally the wrong thing to do. And this means she would get bad legal counsel and take all the wrong actions. And there's no help in the Navamsha, it's just a little bit of Venus here, but it's 75% bad, just like the Nakshatra Lord. So if the bad Karna Lord, bad Nakshatra Lord, it's not looking great. With the Vara Lord and the Jaya Tithi, there's still a chance that she might just keep fighting until she finally wins. Because with that exalted Vara Lord, that would give her a lot of vitality and longevity to pursue the fight. But it would be a fight where everything would go wrong, okay, until she finally won. But there's a chance of winning because of this good, the good Vara Tithi Nakshatra yogas. Now if we go to the yoga, well, the yoga is Shobhana, which means splendid or beautiful. The yogi is the sun, ruled by is Sun, which is debilitated, aspected by Jupiter, who's in an enemy's Navamsha, with Venus, which helps, and then with Mars. So the yoga lord's okay. So the yoga lord's okay because it's with exalted Mars again.
But it's in the 12th.
We don't know that because we're just looking at planets right now.
Oh.
Where's Mars exalted?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's in the exalted in the Navamsha. Here's the logna here. We can turn it off.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Turn this off? Sure.
Okay, so
Oh.
you see again the thing that's saving the yoga lord is Mars again, right? So you get strong Mars and everything else bad, it's going to be a vicious battle, right? And where everyone will do everything wrong, but some people are going to keep fighting anyway. So this looks like a pretty frustrating time to do it all in all. But that doesn't mean it's not possible for her to win, because the Panchanga, even though it's really mediocre, with the good yoga and with the good Tithi, it looks good enough so far that if we can get some blemish removers, some good planets and angles or something, there's a good chance she could win with this Muhurta, okay? So it's not terrible. So we're going to try to find the best time within the day, okay? We can go to Moherta Guidelines and see if there's any special lognas. Aries, Taurus, Leo, and Sagittarius are most favorable, are said to make the enemy retreat early. Okay? Well, if I go to Sagittarius, my moon's not going to be in Vargatama, which I want. And I also want the moon in Vargatama because I want it Rashi aspected by exalted Mars up here. If I go to Aries, I get Rahu in the Lagna. Not going to be good, right?
No.
And then if I go to Taurus,
And moon in
I get the
8th.
Lagna Lord in the 6th, I get Moon in the 8th, and I get a Bandhana Yoga by Rahu and Saturn, the Papakatari, right? Being on both sides of Lagna. So Taurus doesn't look good. And by then it's going to be too late. So my best Lagnas are going to be Scorpio, no, because I want the moon for Gautama. And I want that Mars influencing the moon. I could go to Aquarius,
But moon.
but
will
that doesn't
follow
look that
Mars.
great, right?
Moon will.
It'll take the moon a while. I could go to Pisces, but there's a Bandhana Yoga. So my best Lagna is going to be Capricorn.
Right.
Which puts the moon in the 11th anyway, which is great.
Moon 11th overcomes blemishes.
Yeah.
The moon's for Gautama. We've got
Oh, that's the
two benefics and angles, Venus and Mercury, right?
Right.
I got a malefic in the 6th. But again, because it's the Lagna Lord is the malefic in the 6th, it's going to be a bloody fight, you know? But the other problem is, even from Capricorn, I get a Bandhana Yoga. Remember, if there's equal amount of planets here, in the 2nd and 12th, the 3rd and 11th, the 4th and 10th, the 5th and 9th, or the 6th and 8th, it'll cause bondage, right? It'll be stuck.
Trapped, yeah.
So when it comes to litigation, you want it to move forward and you want to go in and get it done. So having this bondage combination, it doesn't even make Capricorn ideal.
What about Aquarius, putting Mars in the 1st?
Well, with Mars in the 1st,
I mean, I know it's a
I get moon in the 10th.
But it puts all that other stuff in the 9th, which is nice.
yeah, you get some
Rahu
good planets in the
3rd, which
9th.
is nice.
Yeah. It's not too bad. So it's kind of debate. We want to keep that or that. Now, if we find maybe a good Navamsha Lagna in Aquarius, let's see what we can do. So let's go to Lagna, and when I click on Lagna, it takes me to the very beginning of Aquarius. Okay, so now I can check the Navamshas. Well, I have Libra option. Well, I want to get the Navamsha Lagna Lord in an angle or the 11th.
What did you click to make that happen?
Lagna here, see?
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to go Navamsha. From Libra, I got the Navamsha Lord Venus in the 9th. Not good enough. So from Scorpio, I got the Navamsha Lagna Lord in an angle. Okay, well that's not bad, right? That overcomes blemishes, and it's exalted too, in the 3rd from the Navamsha. So I like that. If we can just look visually, if we go with a Sagittarius Lagna in the Navamsha, we get Jupiter in an angle. So that works, right? So we could go with the Sagittarius. And also we should check fatal degree. See the moon's in a fatal degree? We definitely don't want that, because the moon's already bad enough as it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so we don't want moon in fatal degree. We have to avoid that.
The cross means fatal degree, right?
That means we're within 1 degree of fatal.
So that means the whole day.
No, it'd only take an hour to move through that.
Right, okay.
So let's just go through the Navamshas and see when the moon leaves fatal degree. I gotta go all the way to Pisces. Well, I don't want Pisces for sure, and then it's getting 3 o'clock, and I don't want Aries for sure. So I'm gonna have to probably go with Capricorn. It's probably the best option on this day. Let's see if I can even get out of Capricorn. Oh, no. Capricorn, the moon will still be there. Yeah, see, on this day, the best Lagna is going to end up being Sagittarius, which has a Bandhana Yoga with Jupiter. And the moon now has no support at all. It's Rashi aspected by Malefic. So there's no way that she's going to win on this. It won't be a good enough day, because it's just going to be too nasty of a fight. Now, if we...
Is this actually Tuesday or Monday? Because it's Tuesday here.
The VAR is Tuesday. Now it's Tuesday. Tuesday probably changed it by 11 o'clock. So as far as Mars is VAR here.
So you would tell her not to do it on Tuesday?
No, it'd be fine, especially with Mars strong. Any VAR is good as long as the Lord is good. So on this day, there's not a lot of hope. Even with Sagittarius, now we've got an Agni Muhurta, which we don't want, right? So there's a lot of problems. So I'm going to look for better days. I already got enough now that I know that to find a reasonable time, I'm going to have to really start splitting hairs. You see that? I don't want to split hairs. It's too much work and it doesn't give a good result. I'm just going to save it as lawsuit 1. Hit OK. And now it's saved, so if I can't find anything better, I can go back to that. If I go...
Now, where did you save that? What did you hit?
Hit save.
Up there?
Right
Your
here.
File?
Nope, right here.
Right
Everything
where?
for the Moherta is right here.
So to open, I just click on open.
Okay.
When I want to open that one, so this is the old one. This is the date I found last month.
Okay.
Okay, and we don't need to look at that. But it was just the best. She said she thought she had a file by October, but it turns out she can wait a month. So now we're waiting another month. So, oops, don't delete that one. Okay. So now the next possible day where we got all the Panchanga is Tuesday the 30th. Okay. Now I click here. It's in the morning on Tuesday the 30th. I need to get to the noon time when the yoga gets good. Because right now it's the red yoga. The Dagda, we don't want her to go in there and get burnt, right? So, that other day we found has some possibilities because the Varatiti Nakshatra yogas.
Yeah.
But there's enough bad stuff that I'd try to find a better day if it's possible.
Where is it you're clicking?
I'm clicking right here. Oh, I should be clicking probably here to go faster. These are all Vedic time periods that we use in astrology. So it's not hours, minutes, seconds. It's done in these Vedic time periods. So from here, I can, after about 12:30, we get a good yoga. So now we can start looking at possibilities. Well, first, the moon is in Sagittarius, which is only aspected by Saturn, right? So we have to get the moon in a good Navamsha or influence with a very good planet in the Navamsha to overcome that Saturn aspect. Otherwise, she's going to have problems. Well, obviously, this isn't going to do it. The moon's in a debilitation Navamsha in Scorpio, so we can't have that. So it has to be later in the day. So let's see when the moon goes. Okay, now we got the moon, but now it's aspected by Jupiter's an enemy sign, Rahu, Saturn, and then debilitated Mercury. So the moon's hammered, right? It's a terrible moon. And if I keep going that day, there's probably no time the moon's going to be good. So I don't think this day will work either. We're at 5 o'clock, court's closed. So this day is not going to work. So even though it looks good here, the moon's totally afflicted. There's not one good thing on the moon. So the other day would be better. So I'm not even going to put that one in memory. So now, since I don't like that other day, I have to start looking a little harder. So what I'm going to do next is sacrifice the Tithi or the Nakshatra, but make sure that I get a good Tithi Nakshatra yoga or something like that.
And have a good moon.
And make sure the moon is happier, right? So what is it today anyways? Is it October yet? It's not.
No,
Okay.
First is Wednesday.
All right. Well, we don't want to do it until after the 4th when Venus goes into Libra, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, on the is that Sunday? So Monday morning, we have a good yoga, right? But a bad Nitya yoga. I want to avoid a bad Nitya yoga. Okay? So I'm going to scrap that. Now Tuesday
Nitya yoga mean what?
is the daily yoga. Like Vyatipata, Vishkamba, Brahma,
right.
those things, yeah. Okay. So Tuesday, well in the afternoon on Tuesday, I got a good Varatiti Nakshatra yoga, a good Nitya yoga, a good Tithi. Tar's not good. So it's possible. Nakshatra's not good, but the yoga on that day is a good Varatiti Nakshatra yoga, which means that that Nakshatra is going to be fine. The only bad thing on that day, wherever that was the Tara wasn't good, right? 19th Tara, which is let's see, 19 divided by 9 is 18.
19 divided by 9?
19
It's 2.
is 2, remainder 1.
Yeah.
So it's the Janma Nakshatra. Not ideal for going to battle, right?
No.
Okay. But it's not too terrible. If we have to, we can maybe resort to that. But let's look and see if we can find something better. Well, this day won't work because here we got a bad Karana followed by a bad yoga. So that's not very promising. Then this day in the afternoon, we got bad Tara. The next time we get good Tara and everything. Well, Wednesday the 15th might be okay. Because in the morning we can get a good Tithi, a good Nitya Yoga, a good Varatithi Nakshatra Yoga, just a bad Nakshatra. Migrashira. Okay, so let's take this to court time, or 8 o'clock when all this stuff opens. Approximately. So now, okay, this is October 15th. Okay, the yoga is Amrita Yoga and Sarvat Siddha, so that means complete accomplishment and immortal. And it's a Var Nakshatra Yoga. So on this day, the 5th Nakshatra, which is normally not productive, will be productive. So I can go with the 15th. So let's look at the 15th.
Venus with Ketu.
Yeah, let's look at the 15th. Well, Moon in the 8th ain't going to work from Libra, is it?
No.
Especially if it's 10 by malefics,
Right.
which is a bad thing, but we might have to settle for that. From here, well, we got the Bandhana Yoga with Rahu and Saturn, right? Being in 6th and 8th.
Yes.
So we don't like that. Now, Sagittarius,
No, it puts Moon in the 6th.
we could work with that, but now we're already into a bad yoga. So now the rest of the day is shot, because now we're in bad yoga. So if we were going to do it on that day, the best time would be the Scorpio Lagna. Okay, that would be the most possible time. But it's not pleasant at all. The problem is with right now,
The Moon is in a public cartoon.
yeah, it's not good at all. And the problem is that with Jupiter being in its enemies, Navamsha, Jupiter is not going to be able to help us.
No, it doesn't have.
And, so one of the things, we've learned over and over is that it's so hard to get everything right that if you can get Jupiter or some other planet to really help you out, that'll make all the difference. And this chart, there's no hope for that due to Jupiter being in a great enemy's Navamsha. There's just no chance for it.
And the Moon is aspected by Venus and Ketu, but
And Jupiter is slowing up right now. It's going really slow. The what now? And then, and then Ketu's there. It's just
but
not
I mean, there
ideal.
are not that many good influences
Yeah.
on it because it's
No.
public yoga.
The only thing we can hope to do maybe is try to get Venus in exaltation of Vamsha, which will happen the next day, right?
But that's the 16th, right?
Let's see, that would be the 16th. Okay, now on the 16th,
You have all
we
these
get
bad
yucky
things
stuff.
there.
Actually, I like the 17th. Oh wow, Venus is moving really slow. Okay, 18th, there it goes. Well, let's see what time Venus goes. In there, let's see. Okay, Venus goes into Pisces Navamsha after 5 o'clock.
So you guys, you have no idea.
So you can't do litigation.
Doing all
for
this
fun.
without this software, it's like
Possible.
you don't even know what a huge gift this is if you
I know, it is.
unbelievable.
So 17th,
Take it in,
by the
take it in,
time,
take it in.
by the time, by the time we get Venus where we want in on the 17th, it's going to be too late in the day.
Yeah.
So you can see there's not a lot of,
Choice.
we have to keep looking. We haven't looked at the whole month yet. 18th, well, 18th might work.
That's a Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday, thank you.
She might be able to file on Saturday. You never know.
No Saturday, nobody's can fly.
No, they're closed.
Oh, okay, so it has
Or
to be with
close
the
at
courts.
3 o'clock Friday, that's it.
So it's not about her lawyer or when her lawyer sends it.
Well, let's say Monday on the 20th.
Because sometimes it's something you mail, often.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Okay, let's see. Wait, this looks good maybe. The 20th on Monday.
Mhm.
If we do it in the morning, we're going to have a good yoga. We're going to have a good nakshatra, a bad tar. I think we're just going to stick her with a bad tar most likely. But we have a few more days to look. And the yoga is good. And so let's get to court time and see what happens. If we can keep those things. And the reason I like it because, oh, that's too bad. Venus and Mercury just left the thing. Mars is in fatal degree now. Not good, right?
no.
Not good at all. So then we go to the 21st. 21st has some potential in the morning. If Mars, see when Mars gets out of fatal degree. So now this Mars is going to kill everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's aspecting if it's aspecting 1, 2, 3 planets, those are going to be lords. With a fatal degree Mars,
Right.
that's not what we want. And then Moon is with Jupiter too, right? So that means the judge will interfere with a fair verdict, right? Because Jupiter is the judge. And any planet with the Moon is going to disrupt the good possibilities.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, that's what come if you get married with like Venus with your moon. You other people interfere with the growth of your relationship.
Like maybe other women.
Well, hopefully better than other husbands. Anyway.
Except from the point of view of a
I'm just teasing you. So Tuesday isn't going to work. Then we got Wednesday the 22nd. We still got Jupiter with the moon. We still got Mars in fatal degree ruining everything. Tuesday the 23rd. We basically need to see when Mars goes out of fatal degree. And it's not till the 27th, which is right when we started, right? So basically, we figured out in about 10 minutes now, including talking time, that the best possible day
Is the one you started with.
is the one that we started with.
and it's not good.
Yeah. But there is
It's
a
not good.
chance.
So basically, we have to split hairs now. We have to try.
Your advice is going to be
I don't know.
to postpone it for 2 more months.
Who knows if she'll be able to, but my guess is she's not going to win. She's not going to win. I don't think she's going to win just based on. Let's go to her chart. We look at her chart. She's running. Okay, Mercury, Saturn. No. Mercury, Saturn, what? Well, Mercury, Saturn, Moon. Let's see if she has any fatal degrees here.
Maybe she's not supposed to. It's her initiating the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not supposed
I
to initiate.
well, I don't think there's a good chance of winning, and the reason I'm saying that is, right now in this Yantar, she's got this Viparit Yoga here, with Venus and the Moon, but the ninth lord, the Sun's involved.
Oh.
Okay, so it's just not positive to win a court case. The ninth house is really important for the court case to have a good luck with it because that's your
the law.
judge. That's
your
the
judge
law.
in the government.
So it kind of shows, and you know that.
So the sun is hammered.
Yeah, so it's
because
just
of
not.
the 8s and 6s.
Yeah, so it doesn't show that the judge will favor her because the ninth house is the judge, right?
Right.
And so the judge is getting killed here, so it's not positive at all. And then she'll go into Mars, Saturn, Mars after October 30th. Okay, now Mars is it's Vargatama, but it's aspected by Rahu and Ketu.
Did you tell her that she might not win?
I didn't even talk about it with her yet. You know, so
I wonder how
You really
they-
and
should,
then.
though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder how
You gotta
they-
cover your bases because if you give somebody a date, you know.
Oh, no. I've told her that. Yeah, I tell her, you know, you bet that. So with this Jupiter, in the Navamsha of Mars, it's not good either because it's aspected by, you know, Venus, which is in a great enemy's Navamsha. You know, her chart is not promising for winning a court case. And she knows that her case is really slim. And that's why she wants a good Muhurta.
I see.
You know? So the best Muhurta, if we have to do it on this day, is going to be on the 27th. And just to finish this up, we got to get the moon out of fatal degree.
The 27th of what? September.
October.
October, which was yesterday.
Which is next month.
Nothing like October.
October. What's wrong with me?
A month from
Yeah, so it's really not good. So we're going to probably have to go. Yeah, when you go to Scorpio Lagna, it's terrible. Get too many planets in the 12th of Bandhana Yoga. That's never going to do. I think I would go with. And see, the nakshatra Samahata struck down from Jupiter. So the judge is not going to support it. You know what I mean?
So sad.
It's not good.
Capricorn.
It's not good. We might have to
Moon
end
in
up
the
going.
11th.
Now, what thing we like about Capricorn? The moon went into fatal degree, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a great moon, but it's for Gautama, so maybe we want to try to get that moon out of fatal degree.
But then it was Pisces, wasn't
But
it?
then it wasn't Bergman anymore, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, court was going to close maybe, or what did we have to go to? Let's see.
So
Let's see
far.
when the moon goes.
Like Aries or something, you didn't like it.
Actually, we could do Pisces, but then we got a Bandhana Yoga. The Lagna Lord has a benefic in the 6th house. Not good at all, right?
No.
So, and then a Bandhana Yoga with Rahu and Mars. I mean, with all the Bandhana Yogas and the bad nakshatras and stuff, if she follows any of these dates, the case won't even go to court. And they won't even consider it. They're just going to take it and throw it out the window. So,
But she's not sure she has enough of a case.
she says she has a weak case,
Oh.
you know.
And her chart really shows that, so would you just tell her it just doesn't
I
look
think
right?
she has not
Because
taken an
she's not
insurance,
getting too
right?
expensive.
Because in the
Yeah,
contract,
I don't
sometimes
know.
if you don't
She
take-
got the insurance, but it's not covering it or something.
No, you see, for that stuff, you have to pay for it. I think she's.
She paid for the insurance, but she said she didn't read the fine print. I don't know. I don't really know the details.
But
'Cause-
you know what? You can't. Then that's you being negligent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't go,
yeah.
Oh,
Like I said,
shoot, we're sorry. You didn't read
it's
the
a
fine
weak
print."
case, and she knows it. That's why she wants a good Muhurta. But there's no time in the next 2 months that is going to be favorable for filing.
Next
know,
2 months.
In the next 2 months, there isn't. There all the times are terrible.
No, but why can't you do it after?
There's
2
a
months?
limitation
Oh, there's a
of
limit.
how long you can file after something happens.
Is it 1 year is already gone?
I think it's just a couple months or something like this.
Something left.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But with these Muhurtas, it won't even get to court, especially because her chart doesn't promise she'll win. And so the Muhurta, you can't change destiny and change everything by choosing a good Muhurta. It just won't be available. There we could probably find a great Muhurta around midnight, but then she can't go down and file, right? So
Can she get an extension?
I don't know. And if, again, it's just one thing leading to another.
So that's so something like this when you're really up against
Yeah.
the wall, can you throw in a
well,
remedial?
You should be better off just doing remedials, but a lot of it, I guess you could say, is you have to know when to pick your battle. And she already knows that she doesn't have a good case, but she wants to just go fight it because that's her personality.
Oh, she wants to get beaten.
And so, and she wants to try using a Muhurta to win something she knows that she's not meant to win.
Magic sheet.
Okay? And the thing is, the Muhurta is not,
I would like that.
if you get married, it's something, you know, you've got it scheduled, you're going to do it, you've proposed, and you go and get the Muhurta to make the most of your marriage. And, but it's not a win or lose situation. That's like, her winning this court case by choosing a good Muhurta is like somebody whose horoscope says you're never going to get married, finding a Muhurta for themselves to get married. Or finding a Muhurta to meet someone, but they never meet someone.
So is this reflected in her natal chart?
That she'll not do well.
Having legal problems at this time? in
She's
this
had a
process?
few things like this, and then her Chardasha is interesting in that too. It's showing it more clearly than the Vimshatri.
Oh.
So, you know, she's got, you know, you can look at her chart. There's some Bandhana yogas in her chart. You know, there's Rahu and Ketu, Saturn and Jupiter. And so she's running,
Oh, so
Oh.
Rahu and Ketu can create Bandhana Yoga?
yeah, anytime you get Rahu in the 4th or in the alone, and no one, and Ketu's alone in the 10th, you have a Bandhana yoga right away. So, you know, she's running dashas of those planets, and so she always has, in this period, she's always getting up against things that she's stuck. They can't move forward, but she's unable to let go of and move in different directions. And so that's the difficulty. And so this court case just reflects that same thing.
So she should really not pursue it.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the Bandhana yoga. You're stuck. You can't go this way and you can't go this way. You can't do what you want, but you can't not do that either. You know, you're stuck.
Why? She
'Cause-
should
Why
forget
can't she
about
let
it.
it go?
You know, a lot of her feels stuck because she needs the money. She had a lot of stuff stolen that she wanted to sell, and she's got financial problems. So part of it is like, I need this money to move forward, and now I got robbed too. You know, and so it's a real.
But she's not going to win, and she's going to spend money on
Attorneys
courts.
are-
And
Yeah, I know.
So, Ernst,
hmm
the next month is bad for filing for anybody then, really?
Well, that's going to affect him.
Well, it's
All of
not.
October.
No,
Well,
that depends on the chart too.
it'll be some reflection on the chart, but it's not. With Mars going into fatal degree, with Jupiter being in the bad Navamsha, the chances of finding a good filing date are really slim. You know,
Okay.
and then you know, you bet it's not a good chance
Because
to file.
I get a lot of calls, so I was just
Yeah.
thinking if somebody calls me next month and wants to find it, I'll just say, wait till November, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
might
could.
have to file something too. So.
Yeah, and I would probably tell this girl to go and do it on the 27th. Oops, wrong screen. Let's get to the right screen.
where did you get that?
That's the Carol's.
Yeah.
No, that's different. It's there. Just read the owner's manual.
It's not actually.
No?
No.
looks like
It does. It has a totally different purpose. It's not for just reading like a calendar. It's
Oh,
for.
I've seen that, yes.
Those are like
Okay.
transits, right?
Yeah, that's the transits, yeah.
Okay, so the 27th of October you know, because we have the good Vartiti Nakshatra Yoga, if she will decide she really wants to file, we have to rely on that and get her through as best possible.
But you don't really think she'll win.
I don't think she'll win now.
Are you going to tell her that?
Oh yeah, I'll tell her. Yeah,
You
no
don't
problem.
think it's wise to file this?
Well, no, if she wants it, you know, if she does it, it's fine. You know, if she does it, she just burns my car out, beating her head against the wall a little longer. And, but I don't think she'll win. You know, it doesn't look promising, and I think that I don't even think it'll go to court. And the reason I don't think it's going to go to court because her chart is really not showing a court battle in the first place.
I see.
You know, she's running Mercury, Saturn, and you know, it's the sixth house is not getting activated the right way. You know,
So it's so much.
Saturn's not activating it, so I don't think she'll go into a court battle. I think she'll just file, and that'll be the end of it.
And truthfully, her intentions aren't very pure. You know, if she just wants the money, it's not like she really feels wronged and like justice should be
Yeah,
done.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her about it that much. She just emailed me on it, so I try to.
I think there's something here because I know a few people who lost, they got money
Yeah,
from the share. I
sometimes
think-
you can.
Yeah, she has, something is there. She has not, you have to pay for the money, premium has not been paid. She's taken one of their own, you know, sometimes they say, okay, if you don't pay the money, we'll cover you something. And
Uh-huh.
she got this idea.
Yeah.
If she paid the premium for that thing, it would be covered. She hasn't
Yeah.
paid extra money.
I don't know exactly. I don't know the details.
Right.
But you know, so with something like a law case, it's one of those funny things because it's a lawsuit or a war. It's really something you have to do. You know what I mean? It's different if somebody, you know, attacks you and you have to set up a defense. Because at that point, you're under attack. You have no choice. You find the best time to give you the best possible odds. So even if you do lose, you lose the least. You know, and with something like this, of actually, you know, engaging in something and picking a fight, you really should only do it under a really good Muhurta. Unless it's a fight that you just have to go fight, like say your kid gets kidnapped and Rambo has to go in there and get your kid out for you. You know, you can't wait 6 years for the kid to get molested and well, who knows what. You have to get in there right away and do it so you find the best possible Muhurta to give Rambo the best chance he can have and get the less bullet wounds and all that and make the boringest movie, right? There's no fun if he doesn't get shot. And then he goes in there and we see what happens. But something like this, where you don't have to do it, it's really, you know, and then when a chart's not even showing it's going to go to court, it's just a waste of a filing, you know, shouldn't even bother, you know. So I don't really like doing those kind of Muhurtas that much that are dead-end Muhurtas. Go ahead.
Also, can you go into that calendar thing? I had a question on that thing where
Okay.
there's a lot of symbols. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, like this one.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
What exactly?
This is tell you in the owner's manual, but basically, like, say you see a saw symbol. That's a trigger trance between the 8th house and Mars. So if you had a yoga in your chart that was showing you were going to have an accident and get disemboweled, let's say, and you're in the right dasha, this would be the day the accident actually happens. Or if you have something in your chart that says you're going to have a surgery, this could be the day that the surgery happens.
Getting royalties?
But it has nothing to do with, but by itself it won't do anything. If you're not running a bad dasha, all that happens is you stub your toe that day. Maybe. So it has to be taken in respect to the dashas. And then this is the day the transit triggers the event.
So in this particular, there's a lot of things.
There's always,
out there.
because every planet's going to trigger many things. So when Venus hits your logna, it's going to trigger vehicles. Venus rules vehicles. Art, Venus rules art. It rules entertainment. It rules relationships. So it's going to trigger 4 things. And so that's why you see compilings. But the only thing that's going to happen is the one that's pertinent to your dashas.
Right, I got it.
Oh, got it? So you have to use this in the, it's not meant to just say, oh, on this day all these great things and bad things are
No,
going to
I
happen.
think what I did was I printed it, put it on my.
It's fun
on
to
my-
watch and you'll learn,
My
yeah.
refrigerator. I thought, oh my God, I'm watching that day to something happen. I see some dollar sign. I said, I'm going to get money that day.
And if your
That's what I was
dasha is right,
thinking.
you will.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, if
Oh,
your
that's what
dasha is showing money, extra money, that'll be the day you get it.
In fact, I did.
Good. So your
I
dashas are
saw
pointed out.
that.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I was just looking at it.
And see, lots of times it'll be a really small thing. Like when I went to the conference in Northern California 2 weeks ago, I looked at my chart and I had a car trigger, a vehicle trigger.
Uh-oh.
But there was not, I flew up there and there was nothing in my dashas really revolving around vehicles. So I go there and so there was nothing that showing I was going to get a car.
Hmm.
Because there was nothing in my periods that was showing a new car was going to come. But the guy who picked me at the airport, usually I was at this ashram, so usually it's always people come, and as we drive to the ashram, which is an hour away, it's all about philosophical stuff.
Right.
But for this guy, he was into certain types of cars that I happen to know a little bit about, so we were talking about cars the whole way. And so that's all the trigger transit did. It brought cars to my life, but not in like this major important
You
way.
never couldn't get a car.
So the trigger will be there, but unless your dashas are indicating it, the trigger will be so subtle you might not notice it. Like you might have this Venus symbol, I'm gonna fall in love today symbol, and if your dasha shows it, that's the day. Like this is the technique I use to predict the day I met my wife, because the dasha was showing you'll meet your wife. This is the day. But on every day that's not the dasha there, all that happens, then you turn the TV on and you see a movie and you fall in love with the actress, and that's all it was.
Oh yeah.
It's just a hopeless little
Like
she's
love
cool.
Right.
Or Vicky Torres' Secret comes in the mail and you go, okay, and that's your Venus transit. Somehow Venus comes into your life, but unless the dasha's there, it's not going to be in a significant way.
Okay.
So you might not even notice it, because all the time little insignificant things happen that we don't pay attention to. But each of those little insignificant things are triggered by transits. So they're fun to watch in that
This is
sense.
a dollar
Dasha
sign?
one?
Dollar sign. What's that?
Where is the dasha?
The dashas is over here. It's on this main screen over here. That's where you see the periods. And that's when it comes into actually reading the chart.
You just read the first three.
And usually first three is the best way to go, because when you go to 4 and 5, if your time's off, you can really be off. And usually the only time I really use 4 and 5 if it's like a medical emergency and you got that person in the hospital and the next week is critical. And if they go into a bad 4th or 5th level and your time's right and they're critical condition, they're out of there. So that's the only time I use it regularly. Otherwise, 3 levels, and then you go to using transits to trigger the day. You can find the day things happen by going down the 4th and 5th levels,
That's what I've been
but
doing.
you have to have exact time. But I don't ever do that with Vimshatri Dasha, because there's too many factors that can change this by a few days. But with other dashas, like this dasha, no matter what Ayanamsha you use, it won't change at all. So, and if your birth time's off by 10 minutes, there's a good chance this dasha will be the exact same. This is a sign period. We have signs instead of planets. And for that dasha, like I go down to 4 levels more regularly. And that's how I predicted my twin would come home on one particular day. The 4th level was just 2 days long. I didn't even go to the 5th level. Maybe I could have predicted to the hour if I tried. But I was, I was sweating enough just getting it to 4 levels, And 2 days was a small enough window.
So you click on 4, it will say
Go to
4
4,
now.
yeah. So let's do another Muhurta, something that's a little more. So this is a woman who is going to see an Ayurvedic doctor who's famous, who's from India, who's visiting here. So she's flying down here to see him.
Dr. Naram?
Yep, I believe so. He's here next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And she's a really great lady who is into these things. She studies astrology. And so she wants a Muhurta for medical treatment. She wanted a Muhurta for picking the day to see the doctor, and she'd already had the day picked. And the whole time he was in the U.S., there was no good Muhurtas for seeing a doctor. They all had some pretty serious afflictions.
And anyway, he's here for a short period.
And he'll be in L.A. 2 days, San Rafael 2 days. So she said, should I go to San Rafael on this day or L.A. here? I was like, well, geez, L.A. on this day is better, but it's not good. So we decided that, well, you don't have a lot of choice of when you see him, but you have a lot of choice of when you start the treatment. So our job is to find a Muhurta for the treatment. So the first thing we do is put the place. This person also lives in Seattle. Must be something going on in our charts relative to Seattle today. Okay. So, and then we're going to go to general guidelines. We're going to go to medical. Treatment of disease and taking medicine. Okay, now this is all set for treatment of disease. Now she sees him on the 10th of October. So anytime after the 10th of October, if we find a good day, then we can do it. So like the 11th. On the 11th, we've got a good nakshatra, good tara, good tithi, good yoga, and good combination yoga. So that's a possibility. Now let's click on it. Well, first, the Vara, for treatment of disease, I would want a good Vara Lord. Okay? Because the whole idea when you treat disease, you have to get the vitality strong, right? So on a weak Vara, starting your treatment is not going to likely be too productive. Then the other thing that's going to be really crucial is the moon, right? Because the moon rules medicine in the first place. Any herbal medicine, anything, any type of medicine for trying to heal is the moon. So if the moon is bad, we're not going to get a lot of benefit. So here we've got the moon is with Rahu on the 11th. That won't do, right? Okay, 14th, the moon leaves Rahu. Actually, in the evening of the, there's a chance on the 13th over here. Now, the nakshatra is Agni, or not, it's ruled by Agni. It's
Not good.
it's the 3rd. It's not good for treating disease. Okay, it'd be good for her to start a fast. Maybe if he tells her to start fasting, then the Kritika would be a decent nakshatra. And for treating disease, we really want a good Tara Bala, because that's so specific to the moon, and we want that medicine to go in and affect us right. We don't want the medicine to irritate us. And so let's see. The first day we get a good Panchanga. We got bad Tara. The 22nd nakshatra is a Shema, a 4th Tara, but the 22nd nakshatra is destructive. So you always want to avoid that too, if you remember that. So the first day we got an open window looks like Friday the 17th. And at that point we got Mars, was moon with Saturn, right? So we don't want the moon with Saturn unless Saturn was exalted or something in the Navamsha.
And anyway, Saturn's indicator of disease.
Exactly. So we don't want that. And my impression from the consultation time was that he was not going to diagnose her properly. Anyway,
Interesting.
I didn't.
Because there's a Rahu there, cloudiness?
No, there's some funny things, and I didn't think she was going to get what she was expecting from the doctor. Okay, this guy has a reputation that he can sometimes make miraculous diagnosis, and no doctor's been able to tell her what's wrong with her. And so she thinks that, well, she doesn't think, she's not going to a blind. She goes, well, maybe there's a chance that he'll be able to figure it out. She doesn't have high expectations because she's a really grounded, very successful lady. She's not like the previous court case where this woman will just live in dreamland a little bit. This woman is like really a grounded, very successful person in life. And so she just goes, well, there's a chance maybe he will, so I'm going to go try it. And she's into these things, so she's doing it from a really good perspective. But the consultation time to me, even though it was a great consultation time, didn't look good to me. And that makes me think that the physician himself must be running a bad dasha right now. Because for him to be in a place where he's given a lot of treatments in a foreign place, which is an opportunity for a lot of status, when the Muhurta is really bad, shows that he's probably running a bad dasha where he's going to be less effective than normal. Okay? And it happens to astrologers too. They'll go through a period where they're not predicting as well for a few weeks. And during that time, when people come, they'll all come during bad Muhurtas.
Right.
Or they'll have malefic transits in their 5th house or something. So, okay, so the 18th, where were we? We're looking at 17th, it was with Saturn, don't like that. Well, maybe the 19th. Let's see. The 19th we're going to have a bad nakshatra, we're going to have Azlisha. But I won't mind that, actually, if I can get, let's see, if I can get the 10th.
Yeah, the 10th.
No, that's the 10th,
11.
that's the Tithi. If I can get the 10th Tithi, the Tithi up here is the 9th, so I'm just going to go click here and it'll go right to the beginning of the 10th Tithi. So now I'm at the 10th Tithi, at which point the moon went into Capricorn. This is at 6:30.
In the evening?
In the evening. Yeah. So now the moon has gone to the 10th Tithi. Okay, this is possible. Okay, this might not be bad. The Karaka of disease, Saturn, is with Saturn aspected by exalted Mercury, right? In the Navamsha. So there's some beneficial things there. The moon is in the Navamsha is alone. In the Rashi, it's aspected by Mars, so that's not good, right? The moon's not great. The Nakshatra Lord Mercury is exalted, though. That's good. And Vargatama, right? And Mercury and the moon are what makes healing and medicine. They're both related together to heal you. So a good Mercury can really help the afflicted moon. And it's the what was the nakshatra? It's the nakshatra lord, so I sort of like this day. It's decent. Sun's debilitated but Vargatama with an exalted Venus. Okay, so if we can find a good Lagna, that would work. And the moon, we can have the moon travel around a little bit and it'll still work. So,
Yay.
the Nadika, well, do we want Aries Lagna?
No.
Not ideally. It's not terrible because we've got a few things.
Well, Rahu is like herbs and stuff.
Well, Rahu rules more like chemicals. Moon rules herbs. Moon's the mother of the herbs. But Rahu rules like chemical medicines. But, you know, it's not great having Rahu in the first. And for treatment of disease, movable signs can be good. If you want to change things, you don't want fixed signs, ideally. The reason I'm saying this is okay, because the Lagna Lord goes into the 11th, right?
Yeah.
We got a Malefic in the 3rd. We got the 6th Lord in the 6th.
Ooh.
We got,
Amazing.
you know, so it's decent but not great. What's it?
Six Lord and the six
excuse
is
me.
Exalted in the sixth. It's like overcoming disease.
which
Yeah,
is good.
6. Yeah.
It's very good.
Then if we go to and the immune system's ruled by Venus, so having a good Venus can really help you overcome any disease. Okay, the
Which
whole
is
vital
good.
force is ruled by Venus. It's in Libra, exalted in the Navamsha,
Which is good.
so it's pretty good. I mean, it has some afflictions, but Rahu and Ketu are still getting in the way. So, but it's possible. If I go to Taurus, I get a Bandhana Yoga, 2 of them. Rahu, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter. That's definitely not going to work. And a fixed sign.
Immune system is generally ruled by Venus?
Yeah. The whole vital force of health and vitality is ruled by Venus.
Or what about the sun?
The sun actually, it rules your Agni. So it rules sort of like you could say the vital force that purifies the body. But the
And
vital
your
force
digestive system?
and your digestion. But and if your digestion is weak, what happens is that when you're born, you have a certain amount of vital energy that's located in the kidney region, ruled by Venus. And that's the Shukra. It's called Shukra in Ayurveda. And that's what vitalizes and energizes you. And there's only a certain amount of that. When that runs out, it's all over.
Right.
Oh.
That's why XXX destroys your longevity, right?
What?
Then the sun is the Agni, which purifies and destroys the digests the food. If the Agni is not strong, then you're not getting the vitality out of your food, and you need more vitality to destroy the poison, and so you use up the vitality that you have a limited reserve of, and so you get drained. You drain your reserves. So it's like you're not making enough money, so you keep using the credit card
Right.
until you crack,
Right.
and so. That's why, so the Sun and Venus, they both have an important role. And of course, the Sun and Venus both rule the father, right? In Vedic astrology.
Yeah, Venus and Gemini, right?
Yeah. And even in Prashar, it's in there too. They both have to do with the father. So, you know, if you get a good Venus, that can, in a treatment chart, that's really helpful too. Especially you get someone who's, you know, she's 52 years old. There's a good chance at that age that anything she has is some relations to hormones, right? And Venus rules the hormones. So if we can get a good Venus, that's helpful. So I like the fact that Venus is good. We might be able to go with the better Lagna here. I just don't like that Jupiter's still not in great dignity. At least Mercury's making up for him. Cancer Lagna would be great, except Mars is in the 8th. And if she does anything under Mars in the 8th, she won't complete the job. She'll quit before she gets done. So I would think that on this day, the best possibility is going to be an Aries Lagna. But because there's Rahu's here, I want some more blemish removers, okay? So I want a good Navamsha Lagna.
Away from the Lagna degree, I would think, too.
As much as possible, but I would think that it might not be bad to go with the Cancer Lagna and the Navamsha, okay? The reason being because then the Lord of Cancer is in an angle, which is a blemish remover, right? Now, at the same time, we're in the dark half of the month. It's always better to treat disease in the bright half of the month.
It
But
depends on what kind of disease, no?
Well, that's true. If it's possibly, but generally most
Because
diseases.
like in her case,
Uh-huh.
it should be better to do in Krishna Paksha.
Well, the moon is the life force. So the moon is the life force flowing through your body. And any disease, to heal it, you have to get the life force to flow through the blocked channels, right? There's always blockages in the life force when there's a disease. So if the moon is waxing, there's a better chance of the life force increasing. So ideally we would want waxing, but we might, you know, the moon is going to be waxing from the 10th on, you know, so I mean, it's waning from the minute she gets done with her treatment, her not her treatment, but her visit with this doctor. So she either has to wait more than 2 weeks to do the treatment to get a waxing moon.
So what happens if you suddenly give her the timing and suddenly she calls the doctor, doctor says, sorry, I'm totally booked up.
This is to
No,
start
she already
treatment.
scheduled it. This is she's scheduled, and this is to start treatment.
Oh.
So I would think that a Cancer Navamsha Lagna would be good. Okay, let's read our Muhurta Guidelines now, okay? It says, avoid the Jama Nakshatra. Okay, avoid the 4th, 9th, 14th, and the new moon. Well, we had the 9th Tithi, and that's how come I went towards the late part of the day, because we went to the 10th Tithi, because I wanted to avoid the 9th Tithi. Okay? Because that's the empty Tithi. You don't want that for that. Dual Rasis with the benefic is best, while second best is movable. Dual is better than movable because if you get a certain amount of strength, you want to ideally keep it there, you know, but we might not have any chance. And the Navamsha is different. In the Navamsha, you don't choose the Navamsha Lagna based on movable, fixed, or dual. You choose a Navamsha Lagna the same way you choose the Vara. And if it's anything good on a particular Vara, is going to be good to do under the Navamsha of that planet. So since the moon Vara is good for something like that, the Cancer Lagna can also be good. Okay? So the moon's on an angle here, although it's not as strong as I'd like it to be.
That's a huge point.
Okay. Okay, so that's enough special there. So
Is that
that's,
the Vara-
don't
you
know.
want the Navamsa
But
Lagna to go with the Vara?
another thing we could do maybe, yeah, I would probably go with Cancer Lagna, I think, for her. Navamsha Lagna here. And leave it there. So I'm going to save that one for, and see if there's anything better. And then we can peek through this a little bit. The Nadika's triumphant acts in which success is an issue.
Cool.
Well, success is an issue because she's been to many doctors, has no success. Okay? The Muhurta is bad though. Rudra, howling, name of Siva. It's a Dur Muhurta, right? Ruled by Ardra, which is ruled by Rahu, who's in the Lagna. So that makes me think we want to look a little more. Okay? Otherwise, it's quite good. Okay? The Karana is ruled by Venus. The Yogas ruled by the Sun, which is Vargatama. So it's all pretty good, but we might be able to find a little bit better. The only thing I don't like is this bad Muhurta. Okay? So let's see what happens if we go Muhurta up. I go to the next Muhurta, I get Taurus. If I go Muhurta down, I can go to, where is that Muhurta? I can go to Maruta, Wind Muhurta, which is ruled by Rahu. So we're probably better off doing that. So that's going to change. Oh yeah, we could do that. If we go a little earlier, we can go to, we can get rid of the Dur Muhurta and keep the Cancer Lagna in the Navamsha. Okay? And so that's probably the best that we're going to be able to do. I'm going to say this again.
So you would sacrifice the Muhurta.
No, I got a good Muhurta. I got a good Muhurta now. I got rid of the Rudra Muhurta.
And how'd you get rid of it?
I just went down in time 1 minute. We're right on the border.
Oh, wow.
So, because that Muhurta changes it changes to the Rudra Muhurta at 6:28. So what we're just going to go to the beginning of like 6:25, which will be a few minutes before that bad Muhurta.
Cool.
And we've got the good Nava, and this is something that she can control the time. The Tithyamsha, yeah. So we probably got the best possibilities. I would think about going to the Virgo Lagna in the Navamsha because the exalted Mercury is there. The reason I'm not is because that's the 6th house from the Lagna up here.
Right.
And the second reason is because I want to get the Navamsha Lagna Lord on an angle or the 11th. The other possibility that wouldn't be a bad idea would be to maybe stick of Vargatama Lagna. Let's try that. Hold on. So if I go back to Vargatama Lagna, Aries, Navamsha, then that has some promise too, actually. That might not be bad. Because now we get the Navamsha Lagna Lord in an angle. And the Mars is in better disposition than the Moon, because in the Navamsha it's aspected by 2 exalted planets. So I think I'm going to go with this. I like this better. The Nautica promotes activities related to quadrupeds. Well, the Nautica is not specifically helpful, but it's not a bad one. Maybe she'll start horseback riding. I don't know.
The last Nautica was better.
Yeah, but I prefer having the blemish removing planet.
Oh, okay.
And also Lagna Vargatama is a blemish remover in itself.
Yeah.
Now we just have to go to doshas and neutralizations. This is the one I like the best, okay? So treatment 2 we're going to put. Save that. Now by going to doshas and neutralizations, it's going to search for any doshas that we didn't see on the screen. Okay? Well, we know it's not great to have the Lagna in 7th houses with malefics. Okay? But if the Lagna is Vargatama, that blemish is removed. Okay? Now the Lagna is Gandanta, right? Because it's the first Lagna Gandanta. Actually, it's more the end of the last 3 degrees of a sign that's bad more than the first 3, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, wait. The first Navamsha of Aries is the Bhujanga, right? It's the Vishnadi of the Lagna. Okay, so that's not great. Now, however, on Vars other than Mercury's Var and Saturn's Var, Bhujanga does not prevail.
Oh, good.
Okay, what is the Var? The Var is Monday. So we can get away with that. And if the moon is well dignified, it's in Cancer, Lagna Vishnadi doesn't work.
Yay.
And the benefic aspect in Lagna overcomes Lagna Vishnadi. So we got a little help there.
Now I can see why you said the other time that it may sometimes takes you 2-3 hours sometimes.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got like 10 books in front of you that you're flipping
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
This is a huge deal.
No.
And here's some other things. The Shunya Tithi, the 10th Tithi is a Shunya Tithi. Not a good thing, right? So in this month, it's a Shunya Tithi. Now, the 10th Tithi is ruled by, anyone remember which planet?
Then
Oh, we went to the 9th Tithi. We went too far back in time now. Darn it. We can't use the Vargatama Lagna because we went to the 9th Tithi, which we don't want because it's a bad Tithi. We want the 10th. And we don't want the Shunya Tithi. We don't want the Rikta Tithi. So we're going to have to stick. Let's see when that Tithi changes. Yeah, we have no choice if we want Aries Lagna but to go with the Rudra Muhurta. And then with the good Nautica. But I would go with this. I would mind risking this one because of the fact that we've got a good Nikvar Nakshatra Yoga. The Lord of the Tithi Mars, Jupiter, is not great himself, but he's aspected by Venus, Vargatama Sun, and with exalted Mercury, and exalted Venus in the Navamsha. So the Karna is Vanisha ruled by Venus, exalted in the Navamsha, aspected by exalted Mercury. Remember how we said if you get those exalted planets in the Navamsha, it can overcome a lot of other problems. And then the Yoga is ruled by the Sun, which is Vargatama, and with Venus. So you see some afflictions, but I think this well may be the best Muhurta is to go with that. Can we go with the Cancer? Let's see. Yeah, to go with that Cancer, Navamsha Lagna, and leave it. Oh, actually, no, we could go Leo Navamsha Lagna as well. Let's see. Then we get the Sun in an angle. I like that better. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think that's going to be good right there. I went to Leo because the Sun's in an angle, right? It's Vargatama, as with Venus, which is exalted in the Navamsha. Whereas if I put the Moon on the angle, the Moon is not a good Moon. It's just aspected by Mars, right?
But now it's in its 12th in the Navamsha. Does that matter? Isn't it?
What's that?
I can't see.
No, here's the Navamsha line.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the 6th. Not ideal. So the main thing wrong with this Muhurta is the Moon's not as good as I'd like it to be. Because ideally I would want the moon to be as good as possible. I'd be willing to sacrifice almost anything for that. So that's the 19th. So we could look further, and it's well worth looking further, except it's getting too late, so I'm going to have to finish this at home. But, you know, I would hope to find something this good, because this has actually got some good stuff in it, but I want a better moon. I would like a moon that has at least one good, solid, strong benefic aspect. And, you know, this moon has nothing good to it at all.
And really with something as important as this, the Tara has to be good, I would think.
Yeah, and the Tara is good. Yeah, with medicine I try to get the Tara good because it's so specific to the moon. You want all the moon stuff to be good. The Tara, the Nakshatra, meaning the lord of the Nakshatra. The main thing with this is the moon's not great. If the moon was, if moon had a nice aspect to it, then this would be probably as good as we could find. But since the moon's not good, if I spend another half hour searching through the next week or two, good chance I'll find a Muhurta that is better. You know, because I just don't like the moon. Okay.